Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Tonight's question. What project just bought a prime broker? Telegram Open Network, Ton, IOHK Input Output, Cardano, or other, or Tether? Yeah, those three. What's good? Yeah. So, I know there are a number of people out there that really don't want to hear my voice. I understand. But there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Have you looked at crypto today? After China got hit with 104% in tariffs? Yeah, good job. Good job. I don't care what anybody says. Reason why? I really don't think it's a good job. I think the whole thing is about China. Should have focused on China. Work with China, fix China, figure China out, then worry about everybody else. Because everybody else, that's not really a problem comparatively. I need to invest in myself. I'm actually shocked. If that's a true statement, I'm shocked. Because you're Mr. Dependable when it comes to that, Lieutenant. How are you, my boy? How are you? Just saying. So right now, I'm going to give you some great news. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $76,321.49 as per CoinMarketCap. Then, even better news. The implied open for the Dow tomorrow morning, 444.87 down. Now, that's actually pretty good. Why does Eddie say that's actually pretty good? Oh, that's because it was in the 500s before, just a little while ago. The market did end down considerably today. Yeah. So there's that. What else happened? So the market declined so much that Apple declined enough that now Microsoft is the world's most valuable company, not Tesla. I know. Yo, 8 paws and 2 feet. What's good? Okay. You think it's Ripple. Hutanic has no idea. I understand. And you did invest in yourself today. Thank you very much. Lex Luthor was good. Now listen. I know there are a lot of people listening right now, and I'm not going to name any names, but let's try to make it through without anybody getting sent to the corner. Okay? All right? I'm just putting that out there. We're going to try to make this a cornerless night. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a no bueno situation. Now, tomorrow we could wake up and everything's just fine, all well and dandy, but we'll see. People are in shock right now. Elon Musk is ramping up his attacks against, what's his name again? Peter Navarro. I told you the other day he was attacking him, and now he's just ramped it up a bit. Yeah, because he's got problems. Because, he's got a lot of stuff that comes from China. So Audi's not shipping vehicles. So check this out. Not only is Audi not shipping vehicles, but whatever is at the port in the United States, not selling. It's going to stay there. So the Audi dealerships only have like a 60-day inventory for right now. Jaguar Range Rover said the same thing. We're not shipping jack. Here's something else to contemplate. If you need parts, drive safely. If you need parts, that's going to be a problem. If you're in the market for a car, that's going to be a problem. I'm just saying it's going to be a problem. You want an Audi, what is it, an A8 or a Q8 or whatever the heck it is? You're going to have to go to Mexico and buy it over there and see if you can, drive it back through. You're going to have to see about that. Invested in a nice one. 1.5 New York. I literally had steak and potatoes last night. It was cut up steak, like stir fry with mushrooms over diced potatoes. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Just saying. Yeah, Lex Luthor is talking about some first world problems. He is. Good evening, Paula. Now, Paula, you showed up a little bit late, and I'm going to say this to you. We're trying to make tonight a no corner night. We're trying to make this a no corner night. So let's not get crazy out here. I know the market is down. I know the stock market fear and greed index, as per CNN, is 4, which is what it was this morning, and that's out of 100. That's out of 100. No corners, no bueno. You're already on track, buddy. You're already on track. Don't be coming up in here and talking some nonsense. So, love me some cranberry juice. I need to get more glasses. That's what I need. I need to get more glasses so I can switch glasses a lot. So that's a no bueno situation. CoinShares analyst James Butterfield dismissed the bearish implications of Bitcoin's death cross. And I can understand that. Except you have these things called macro events. Yes. You have these things called macro events that can affect your bag and make it move negatively. Now, I do agree that the impact of a death cross, you know what I mean? Like, people put, these names on things and they think that they're really, really big and really, really important. And I keep telling people, stop, please stop thinking like that. Crypto is not at a stage yet where it's going to move based on math and, simple stuff. It's going to move based on how the wind blows. Macro events, micro events, just whatever events. That's how it's going to move. Sometimes it'll move based on numbers, rarely, but it's going to move based on news. Why do you think I tell you about the GMB3? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Absolutely. And you have to do them in that order. Must. The more the stock market bleeds, the better our chances for a nice bull run. Thank you, A-Pause. Yeah, I don't correlate the two like that. I do not correlate the two like that because right now the stock market is bleeding and Bitcoin is bleeding. In other words, it's giving you another opportunity to go buy some stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So for me, I'm just sitting here looking at things saying to myself, oh, this could be fun. I'm going to look at this stuff and I'm going to put the dots together and do all this stuff. And I'm going to go sprinkle. You guys thought it was crazy. No, sprinkle. Every time I take a wad of cash and just drop it in, failure, big failure. Huge. Embarrassingly. I mean, it's come back and I've been able to wait my time out of it, but let me tell you something. It's ugly. So I've learned sprinkle. That's my thing. Sprinkle. Want to get bold? Drop it off the elbow. Just saying. What other news happened? You've got Standard Chartered predicts that XRP. I hope you people are sitting down. Just sit down. Standard Chartered predicts XRP could reach $12.50 by the end of the new regime. And they're saying by that time, it could also bypass the market cap of Ethereum. Not so shocked. We spoke about this a while ago. The math works. So that could be a possibility. Do I agree with it? I don't know. Not really. D-Mac. Shh. Down in front. Don't. I'm telling you, this This is going to be, I'm working hard to make this a cornerless night. That doesn't mean I don't have a happy trigger finger to throw somebody in the corner. Lex Luthor is already, he's trying to veer off in that direction. I'm just saying. Amazingly enough, you want to know something? Hutanic is being good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So that's something. What else is there? You need to understand this, and I'm going to say this is dead serious. A $10,000 vote buying incident in Arbitrum DAO via lobby finance raised an alarm over decentralized governance integrity, prompting a debate over disqualifying purchased votes and reconsidering tokenomics to protect on-chain voting systems. Yeah, somebody went out and dropped coin to buy votes. They pulled a muskrat. Just saying. That's crazy. That's Arbitrum. Arbitrum DAO. How is that even allowed? How is that even allowed? And I don't blame Arbitrum. This is the problem. Everybody's going to blame Arbitrum. I don't know that I can blame Arbitrum. People want money. People want money, and somebody facilitated. You've got to figure that one out. That's kind of a big deal. So yeah, we're paying attention to that. The US DOJ has officially disbanded their national cryptocurrency enforcement team. I think, depending on what Crypto Mom does, Hester Pierce, that could be a mistake. Because I firmly believe that there needs to be enforcement. And I think she's going about doing things the right way. I think she's listening a lot. She's understanding. She's bringing different people to the table, different entities to the table. And let's not get it twisted. She can and will enforce. She's just not all about the stupid stuff. If you notice, if you just look at her, if you just read up on her, she's not about the stupid stuff. That's the deal. That's the deal breaker right there. She's not trying to do dumb shit. Excuse my language. Sorry about that, Mom. So yeah, that's going to be big. What did you type? M2 needs to kick in. I don't know what M2 is. Go write that out. Don't know what QT is. No, I do not agree with the rate cut thing. Like at all. At all. Everybody's trying to force, Big Daddy Powell to come save the day. Why? He didn't do anything. Maybe at the end of the week, we'll get real numbers in and it'll be something that he can react to. But yeah, no. Thank you for spelling it out. Some of us know what it is. Some of us knew what you're talking about, but others don't. So you kind of got to, just saying. Thank you for that, both of them. Look at the bond market. It went up 30 basis points yesterday and another 15 today. Yeah. What was that word you used earlier? What was that word? Lex Luthor, nothing to be sorry about. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody can keep up with the conversation. And that's how I do it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that information. And DMAC, I didn't miss that comment. H-bar. Yeah, I've been loving me some H-bar, bro. Loving me some H-bar. Cause what? I think H-bar is just going to come out. So let's talk about H-bar in a second. Remind me. I'm just looking at things right now and I'm thinking to myself, what's that word that you were using earlier, Hutanic? Oh yeah, that's right. Manipulation. Because what was it? How do you move? How do you come up with $2 trillion to go you're in the bucket all up in the red, and all of a sudden you're green again. Yeah, 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 yeah. How'd that happen? Yeah, I'd like the formula. I agree with you. I'd like the formula, but it was up. I wasn't lying. Market was up. How it got up, I'm just saying. How did we don't even have to go that far. So yeah, do I think there's manipulation going on? Oh, most definitely. Who's got 2,000? Who's got 2 trillion lying around? I know who Tanic. You got that in your back pocket, right? Movie money, movie money for us. Yeah, yeah. If you do your own research, minimum 15 minutes every day, preferably not all at once. Okay, you're gonna see things. You're gonna start, connecting dots, or at least seeing dots. Some dots by themselves mean something. But then when you put them together with another dot, you're like, oh, damn. Oh, that. Exactly. Exactly. So when you see a market that's been down 3 days in a row and then out of nowhere you're about to have another down day. You were about to have another deeply down day and out of nowhere you're green again. Rick Ritchie, thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself, sir. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. And maybe if you do your own research, you'll start to see how this stuff starts to connect. You know what else is really good about doing your own research? Something that's really good. Something ticked me off. I saw an article released in the Washington Post and other papers, and it was talking about how somebody had a conversation with Lee Iacocca, who's been long dead since 2019. Passing it off as news, even though it was in opinion sections and this, that. How do you even cover that? It's fake news. How did that even get printed? That was fake news by some prominent papers. Now, we all know that I'm not a fan of the current regime, but I will call some bull stuff in a heartbeat, not a problem. And that was some bull stuff. Yeah. Do a search on current regime and Lee Iacocca. You'll sit there and you'll be like, what the heck is this? What? Yeah. Fake news. Completely fake news. Now, something else that happened that I paid attention to. What is it? 95% of the Melania token is owned by insiders. And today they dumped $30 million. And you mean to tell me nobody knew? Nobody knew that this was just a straight up money grab? Nobody was thinking that? No? Okay. Okay. Just saying. Of course, gold recovered like a rubber band. Yep. But the reason why I tell you to do your own research is because of that. Not only are you going to find real news, but you'll start to be able to pick out the BS, the FUD, the fake news. That's what you'll start. Oh, that doesn't smell right. You'll start to see that. And you'll start to see how you could understand how a bunch of people would believe that. I found that article in the Washington Post. I mean, I don't know if you call it an article or an ad. Somebody took an ad. I don't know what it was, but it was in the Washington Post. How'd they allow that? Yeah. I didn't even go through the whole article. I was just kind of like, that doesn't sound right. And I can't stand the new regime. However, I'm not going to be sitting here and not calling out BS. Like, that was insane. Come on, get it together, people. Get it together. There are lots of reasons to not like the person, not like their moves, not like their underhandedness, not to like a lot of things. And I'm just talking about the economics. But that level of BS, nah, we're not going to let that slide. We're not going to let that slide. Washington Post, get yourself together. Like, I wouldn't have even written an article about the article because it was such crap. Just saying. I'm just going to put that out there. Just saying. Asking a favor for a friend. I can confirm we have $1 trillion in commercial loans need to rolled starting in May. I don't know what that means. Next year, another $1.2 trillion needs to roll, going up 4x on debt service. Bubble about to pop. Ooh. Yeah. Who's taking a hit? I saw an article last night, excuse me, and it was about commercial loans. And yeah. And it was commercial loans and insurance. Expect both. Insurance? Oh, that's going to skyrocket. Commercial loan bubbles? Oh, that's about to happen. They've been talking about it for years. People know it's a bubble. It's not. It's the most widely known secret. Everybody knows, and you just kind of go, "Ooh, yeah." Government bridge loans to cover that? Yeah, I don't want a loan. No. Insurance. Can you blame the insurance companies for raising rates in this case? I mean, everybody hates insurance companies, but what are they dealing with right now? Parts are going to cost more. If you get into an accident right now, parts are going to cost more. Oh, even worse, they're not going to be able to get the parts, or your mechanic won't be able to get the parts. What else am I expecting? Stolen cars. Why? Parts. Think I'm playing. I'm not playing with you. I am not playing with you. Right? You're driving that Lamborghini Urus or whatever, however it's pronounced. It's an Audi. Everything in that car is an Audi part. What? Yeah. Engine in a Bentley. Audi. What are you paying for? The accoutrement. Yeah, insurance is going to skyrocket. It's about to skyrocket. Whether you drive a U.S.-made vehicle or an overseas-made vehicle or Mexican-made vehicle, Canadian-made vehicle, Canadian parts, Mexican parts, doesn't matter. It's about to go up. We are at a time right now where we are not in a good position. The whole world is affected by this. I love how they throw out the number. Oh, 70 some odd different countries are trying to talk to us. I want you to take a step back and I want you to actually contemplate 70 some odd countries. We do business with a lot of countries, sure. What are our top 10 problems? If we renegotiated with the top 10 countries that we do trade with, problem solved. 70? I don't know. Sounds like a made up number to me. Because they're not saying they want to negotiate. They're saying, what did we do? What did we do? Penguins are protesting. What did we do? We're going to give you reciprocal tariffs by sending you cold weather. That's what we're going to do. Like, seriously. You've got to stop and you've got to think about doing your own research as a major thing. Ham's house was good. Did you invest in yourself today, sir? Answer the question first. Just saying. Ooh. I'm going to read what Hutanic just wrote. Excuse me if I misread it. If the insurance commissioner sees their balance sheet can't cover all of the policies in one occurrence, they force them to take rate to get the reserves up. That's a no bueno situation. Captain Banana, thank you for that. But they're not going to avoid the tariffs. What they're hoping for is that those if they did it, what they're hoping for is that they'll be able to stave it off for a little while because, yeah, everything. If they have to do everything here or whatever it is, they have to fight with the tariffs. That phone is now $3,500. Somebody did the math. They were like, that phone's going to be like $3,500 to $3,500. Holding on to my phone because what is it going to do? What happens every September, give or take? August, it starts. That's right. New iPhone. New iPhone. Oh, that's not looking pretty right now, is it? Messing up the plans. Messing up the plans. Like I said, if we made a list of all the countries that the United States does business with, and you look at the top 10 countries that we do business with, Canada, Mexico, China, some certain countries in Europe, you're going to start to realize that we take care of like 90% of our problems probably within the first 10 to 20 countries, probably not even near 20. You take care of the problem with China. Oh, hold on. Do we have a problem with Canada and Mexico? No. We got a problem with the Mexican border. But the same way that they're sending people, we're sending guns. Facts. So yeah, you start to think about that. You start to realize, ooh, there's a lot to deal with. But take a look at the top 10 countries where we have tax problems, or I'm sorry, trade problems with. Take care of those 10. 70 some odd is a ludicrous number. I think that's a made up number. Somebody leaked it and it stuck and everybody's talking about, well, they got calls from 70 countries. Nobody cares. I don't, because I'm not stupid like that. Give me the top 10 on the list. Let's make some phone calls. Give me the top 10 on the list and let's make some phone calls. No tariffs, no nothing. Top 10, let's make some phone calls. We can make your life difficult. You can make our lives difficult. You've been making our lives difficult. We don't really want to do this, but you're going to force us into a corner and we're going to have to do some stuff. And we're going to do everything above board. Listen, we're asking you to, cut that crap out. Then there are rumors going around that China's like, all right, cool. We're not going to protect your intellectual property anymore. Yeah. As if that happens now. What? Yeah. But they're saying now that they're not going to enforce anything. They're going to let those companies just go hog wild and know that they're not going to get, investigated or anything. Problem with offshoring is you have to send out your intellectual property. This goes for manufacturing. They've been dealing with this for a long time. Manufacturing problems, right? As well as jobs. All these companies offshoring. Great. Where's your brain trust? Where's your mind trust going on? Oh, you don't have it because it's all in another country. Nice. Good job. So not only am I looking for companies that are going to get hit hard with tariffs, I'm going to be looking for companies that are going to have to deal with manufacturing problems. Because, yeah, who in the United States wants to actually sit there and, screw screws? Not a lot of people. Oh, and by the way, that'll be done by a robot anyway. So what jobs would be left? Imagine that. Imagine building a manufacturing plant and saying, okay, that can be done by a robot. Okay, what's left? Okay, we can get some humans. You think I'm playing, and I'm not. I'm not. Do some research on Chinese manufacturing. They're light years ahead. Why? Oh, robotics. Far less humans than what it used to be. Far, far less. They've surpassed us. Just look it up. Think about it. If the U.S. disappeared overnight, could they survive? I would say yes. And dance like the Wicked Witch is dead. Damn, that's violence. That's violence. Oh, man. You know what? I can't even put you in a corner over that because, yes. Except for one thing. We consume the most in the world. The most. By far. So at some point they're going to feel it. But I think they would be in a position to adjust. I think, like I was saying this the other day, that I have a problem with capitalism. There has to be a point where enough is enough. If we didn't keep multiplying more, doesn't that sound like a Star Wars movie? Yeah, it did. I'm sorry, it did. But imagine if we had common sense enough to say to ourselves, enough is enough. You can make money, and that's fine. But you're not going to spend $1 billion on yourself in this lifetime. If you personally have $1 billion, you're not going to spend it all. I think I told you guys this once. My oldest son had a homework assignment once, and they said you have to spend this $1 billion, sort of like Brewster's Millions. You have to spend this $1 billion. You can only buy a certain amount of certain things, and nothing that you buy can gain in value. Oh yeah. That was one of the hardest homework assignments he ever had. That truly teaches you the value of $1 of fiat, right? Let's see. It's not about the tariffs. It's about blowing up the system with U.S. dollars faster than China can QE. No, that's one of the things. That's one of the things. But you're making a huge assumption in that statement. You're assuming that this was well thought out. You're gonna blow up the system. Why are you blowing up the system? It begins with T, trillion. The other T is 36. See, it begins with a T. $36 trillion. $37 trillion in debt. I missed something. We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy things that Chinese peasants manufacture. J.D. Vance. I don't know if that's true, but I'm upset with myself for even reading it. Folks in India are defaulting on microloans. Microfinance is a way in which loans, credit, and access to savings accounts are provided to small business owners in underdeveloped parts of India. Yep. But those are the underdeveloped parts. The developed parts are just swallowing jobs from around the world. I once consulted a company, and we looked at several different countries around the world to set up cost centers. Yeah. Who was on the list? Mexico, Poland, I think Thailand. So there were countries, Ireland. There were countries around the world where we set up set up cost, centers of excellence so that we can get cheap labor. Yeah. Real thing. True story. We're so hell-bent on making more money, taking more money, because at this point you're taking. You got $1 billion. What the hell? You have to have one person? Think about this. All these people, they have all the money in the world, literally. The top 0.1%, they have all the money in the world. And you sit there and you just kind of go, what are you going to do with that? I could do anything I want. But you could have done anything you want with $1 billion. Hell, let's get crazy. You get $10 billion. Seriously? When do you start taking care of your fellow person? In my old neighborhood, we had, we have brothers and sisters that are not related to us in any shape, way, or form. And little brother, little sister, and you looked out for them. You made sure they didn't go off the rails too much. And if they did, you delivered a beating. Not a beating, not a whooping, a beating. That's what you did. Because you wanted to make sure that kid was going to be all right. So step out of line, no parents are around. Okay, I'm your big brother. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to handle that. Yeah. So decades and decades later, I still have a little brother. Now, he's all right. But we check in. Not a week goes by where we don't check in. If everybody around the world did that, world would be a better place, right? Start with taking care of your own. And then if you have extra, take care of somebody else. Everybody knows somebody that doesn't have. Unfortunately, there are a lot of wealthy people that don't do that. They say, well, like I give to charities and stuff. You go to a lot of charitable events. A lot of the money that you give, for charitable events. How much of that trickles down to the people that actually need it? While you're walking around some gala, how much of that money comes back? Yeah. How much money is enough money? And you can't tell me that you can't get to that number. That you can't figure that out. Costco did it. Arizona Iced Tea did it. Lots of companies out there did it. They were like, well, that's enough. I made enough. I pay my people enough. We're good. We're living happy lives. We're good. But more. It really was a bad scene in Star Wars. Again, I apologize. What I'm missing, China could cash in USA Treasury bonds. That's a leverage they have. Yep. But we allowed that to happen. And this isn't a political problem. We took a stance as a country and we did this across multiple presidencies. We let it rock. More. At some point, you got to give the devil his due. So while we watch rich people become poor, and while we continue on our daily lives trying to make it happen, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Right? Other news, BlackRock will use Anchorage Digital the same way they're using Coinbase to custody some of those assets. Coinbase will still be there. They just have choices now. And you knew it was going to happen because nobody wants a solo player. And I knew it was going to be Anchorage Digital. Do some research on Anchorage Digital. I've dropped many an article where Anchorage Digital is the custodial company, right? So that's a good thing. Crypto and blockchain ETFs, worst performers in the UK. Wow. In Q1 2025. Not a shock, right? It's going down, going lateral to sand. WazirX secured a 93% creditor approval for its restructuring plan. That's good for them. I think I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm not doing business with WazirX. I would never use them. Nope, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. An absolute wrap. So, again, I'm just out here looking at things, looking at how things are rocking and rolling, and I'm saying to myself, crypto is, where is it? What's Bitcoin right now? 76,484. Not moving all that much. Oh, I missed a couple of things. They will just print one out of thin air and sell it to stable coins. That's funny. Yeah. I hate to say it, but that's a crazy scenario. Except it's not crazy. That could actually happen. That could be a thing. That's a viable option, is what I'd say. RLUSD, USDC will be buying massive amounts, especially if the Fed is doing huge increases daily. Not to mention that they're basically saying that you have to be 1-to-1 in your reserves. I mean, everybody's pounding on USDT, but USDT is kind of like, I don't know about that. Maybe we'll come out with another stable coin. That's literally what they're contemplating, is creating a new stable coin. Captain Banana. Yeah, I think I'm just going to replace the battery on my phone too. Yeah, you could do that. I was just looking at the phone because remember they came out with those rounded ones and it was really hard to work with. I've replaced batteries in many of my phones. I can't even remember. I think that's a 14. I'm pretty sure that's a 14. 14 Max Pro. And I got to tell you, what else do I need it to do? What else do I need it to do? I can shoot video on it. I can. What do I need? I don't need anything. I have no use for another phone. I can wait. You know? By week's end, the average bond rate will be in the upper 5% range. Kid at my office, I know he's going to be buying bonds. He's waiting. He's like, it's hard. But he's going to be buying. He'll be buying like a champ. Dead serious. And I'm like, yeah, that's cute. 5%. I know that's foul. I know it's foul. I can do that with crypto. You were up yesterday. When you woke up this morning, you were up. You were like, yeah. And then that happened and you're kind of like, oh, yeah. 5K drop there's a 5K drop for Bitcoin. It's almost at 20% down year to date. Bitcoin. Tell me that's not insane. I just want to see Mantra. Mantra's still up 62% year to date. That's crazy. One of the best buys. One of my best buys. Your mom is going to laugh. I have trouble sleeping at night because I'm watching news. So glad she sleeps well. She does. She sleeps like a champ. She's retired, as we say. She's retired. She don't worry about this crap. She has fun investing. Because she's like, just because I'm old doesn't mean I'm dead. I want to enjoy stuff. So she invests. And she'll call me up. Oh, yeah, I picked up some stuff. I picked this up at this price. And da-da-da-da. It's the best feeling ever to sit down and have conversations like that with my mom. It's awesome. I try to video conference my mom every day. And of course, I bother her all the time. All the time. As much as I can. As much as I can. I love it. I love it. She calls it shenanigans. I don't care. I'm your child. I can do that. But it's really great to be able to talk to my mom about investment stuff. And she'll call up. She'll ask me like some deep freaking questions. And I actually have to think. It's awesome. It's awesome. I am blessed. I will definitely say that. To still have my mom, I am blessed. But yeah, when you look at the news out there and you start going through all the coins that are out there that are doing stuff, Sui's below $2. Avalanche is down deep in the 16s. Stellar's down at 21. I mean, Chainlink is back at $10.87. I'm just saying, a couple of days ago, Chainlink was at $13. Do you think it's going to go back? Yup. So what's $13 from 1087? It's greater than 20%. I tell you that. Where are you going to make 20% like that? Where are you going to make that kind of dough? I told you, we're in a time right now where you can play with this stuff. You can play with this stuff. You can play with the volatility. But you got to know the coin's rhythms. You got to know the project's rhythms. You have to be expecting macro events. You have to be expecting micro events. I told you guys, develop a calendar. Start looking at what's going on. Start looking forward. Don't just look back, look forward. That's why we have the Sunday roundup. What happened last week that's going to affect us going forward? We've got a big IPO coming up. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Next month, we've got what? The Bitcoin conference. We got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff that we need to pay attention to that a lot of people don't take the time to pay attention to. Overall, I think is it Trump versus the Fed? Correction, overall, I think it is Trump versus the Fed and the bailout boys. I don't believe that. I don't think they've thought long enough for it. I don't think they've really planned that. I don't think that's what it is. I think that what it is, because everybody that doesn't have that kind of money is looking at this. Oh, he's fighting for us. He's doing this. He's doing that. Cool, great. You can keep those thoughts. Keep those thoughts. And then as you get burned because everything they're doing is for the wealthy, we'll have another conversation. I'm not wishing you bad. I'm just saying the track record is there. The track record is there. Go pay attention to what he's doing and how he's doing it. He's making you look over here while he's doing stuff over there. Do your own research. I'm telling you, that you're not dealing with a lot of people that have everybody's interest in mind. They've got these people's interest in mind. And if you happen to do well because of these people's interest, then okay. But if you don't, they're still going to think it's okay. Why do you think these people want a recession? Because everything goes on sale. That's why. That's not even kid. Wealthy like a down market. They like a crushing market. They like a recession because they can pick up things and not have to worry about it because it's on the cheapy pennies on the dollar. So yeah, I'm just sitting back and I'm going, let's just let it play out. Let's just let it play out. You're talking about hypotheticals, Lieutenant. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. That's a serious hypothetical. Go research why we came off of gold. Came off of gold because of debt. We can't do that again because already our fiat is backed by a wink and a prayer and a promise. Think about that. I understand the point that you're making. I really do. I really, really do. But I want you to go back and I want you to think about why we're off the gold standard. Debt. Talk to me after you look that up. Straight up because of debt. We wiped out a whole lot of debt. We don't have a way of wiping out all that debt right now. Let that one sink in. U.S. government comes out and they say we're going to sell a whole bunch of treasuries because China's cashing in on their treasuries, so we're going to sell some stuff. We're going to sell it to stablecoin companies. Okay, that covers China. That does not cover the almost approaching $37 trillion in debt. It doesn't cover that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we have to think about. Cranberry juice is the bomb. Oil, gold, BTC, just 100% backed. Would we need the Fed in that? Again, that's another, hypothetical. It's another hypothetical. I'm not going to play games with hypotheticals. Play games with the facts right now. Play games with the facts right now. We have the Fed. The Fed is here because we don't have gold, so we've got to figure it out. Now I want you to stop and really think about this one. This will really mess with your head. So we're talking about the Fed, right? The Fed's got to do stuff to manage the economy, but we're against algorithmic stablecoins. Make that make sense? D-Mac, we had to get off the gold standard. We had debt. That was the only way they could think about getting away from that debt. I wish that was funny. It's not. It's not. No, I'm not mad at you. Let me say it like that. No, I'm not mad at you. It's just not funny. There's nothing funny about $36 trillion in debt. Over $36 trillion in debt. Tariffs making $2 billion a day. You're joking, right? You're joking. I know you're joking. I know you're joking. Doesn't Elon make $8 billion a day? There's some kind of ridiculous number that Elon makes off of government contracts per day. It's not 8 billion, but it's like some ridiculous number. We pay the debt by, I wish that was true. You can't pay this debt off. It is impossible. You can't tax your way out of this. Yeah, that. This is funny. The newest thing out there right now is receiving text messages with like, "Hello, how are you? How much would it cost for you to work? Just report the junk and let it go." Shoot. All right. Junk. Ham's house. You're about to land yourself in the corner, young man. Young person. Young pain in the butt. What do we have going on? A ton of debt. So why do I tell my kids, do your own research, know your entries and exits, absolutely invest deliberately. Live at home for as long as you can. Don't make bills for yourself. Live at home for as long as you can and invest. I will sob like a baby when my kids move out. Not because, partially because they're moving out, but because how much is enough? In this global economy, how much is enough? In this country, we don't necessarily really have that whole idea about family helps family. In my family, we do. But as a country, that's not something we actually are known for culturally. Other countries, there are. We see other cultures come here and do that. People from different parts of the family come, they get an apartment, then they chip in and they get a house and more family comes and everybody does their thing. And then one moves out, buys a house. Another one moves out, buys a house outright. Setting each other up for success. So that's what I want my kids to do. I want them to do the research, understand this stuff, know how to move. That's a big deal. Whatever happened to checking up on gold? You're not talking to me. You're talking to Hutanic, right? Because gold just keeps going up. You meant to ask that question of Hutanic? If you wake Hutanic up in the middle of the night, 2:30 in the morning, he might smack you upside the head, rolling over and just whack. But I'm willing to bet you he's got an emergency like bat phone that will tell him how much gold is. I'm just saying. Oh, the audit. Ooh. Germany wants to know how their gold is doing that's kept at the New York Fed. Ooh. The tartness hits you right there. Oh, yeah. Haven't heard anything. Have not heard anything. Did you see how quickly it was a blip in the news? Yeah. So I'm wondering. I'm really wondering. I have not heard anything since. Oh, so it wasn't that deep. He just wants to know in general how much is gold. Dude, if you're chatting here, you can Google it. Lazy. The heck? You should have come on and said, this is what gold is at. Yeah, but like blips. Like just blips. So you guys know I have a book out. I have 2 books out. The second one, GMB3, The Art of Research, Timing, and Deliberate Wealth, right? In that book, the first chapter is learn how to do your own research. In that chapter, I list off like a whole slew of research sources, of sources where you can go get news. I tell you what they're all about. They give you little blurbs about what they're all about. No, I'm not endorsing any of them, but that's how I find news and find corroborating evidence. That's how I find news and see if this article is exactly like the other one I found. Okay, that's not corroborating evidence. That could be FUD. That could be BS. But it's also about the writers, the reporters. Where else can I find that? I find an interesting topic. I'll go Google that to see who else is carrying it. And now here's what I just told you tonight. I found an article in the Washington Post. That made me stop and think, right? Because that was not good. I Google a lot when we talk to you. Yes, you do. Could put your new book on the cover page on YouTube. Thank you for that. I should, but try not to be obnoxious about it. But you're right. I should do it. On the thumbnails that I used to have, I had the old book. Actually, I have the old book on there, and I should do it. And I had this weekend. I kind of wanted to take it easy this past weekend, because there was a whole bunch of artwork that I wanted to do to like make it easier. If you notice, I no longer have titles on the videos. I have the name of the show and the season and the episode. I no longer have titles, and the reason why is because of some stuff. You'll see. PAX G is holding at 3K with ease. I see some PAX G in my very near future. But yeah, it's no joke. Gold is $21 trillion market cap. You don't have to stress about large moves. Yeah, you're not going to make big moves with that. You got to be a country to move gold. I'll say it again. You have to be a country to move gold. And even then, you're not going to move gold. Those are facts. That's a tough deal. And Rick Ritchie lives in freaking Google. So yeah, there's some of us out here that do research every day. We're finding stuff. We're talking to our friends, you guys, and comparing notes. What's going on? What do you think? What about this? What about that? What do you think about this? How are you doing that? How did you do that? When did you do that? Oh, let me look into that. You stop and think about what's going on in the news. How can I tie that together? I gave you some news tonight about Anchorage Digital. Go pay attention to that. You want to know what the really big news is? The really big news is that XRP is buying Hidden. Let me give the name of the company. Ripple is buying Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, integrating its RLUSD stablecoin and XRP for multi-asset settlement and cross-border services, becoming the first crypto-native firm to run a prime broker and strengthening its institutional DeFi offerings. Yeah. D-Mac posted that. You were supposed to post it on GMB, but he posted it over on YouTube. Whatever, dude. But yeah, you stop and think about that and you go, holy moly. They're the first ones to actually buy a prime broker. Kraken bought Ninja Trader, which is a stock trading platform. What I tell you about these things that are going on. And then when is Ripple going to go public? Ooh. What? Is Hidden Road already public? It can't be. It cannot be. It's a prime broker, but public? I don't know if it's public. No, I'm not seeing that it's public. But that's big. Just in Japan, US, Japan says it will not sell US treasuries solely based on US-Japan relations. Maybe that gets the market back up. Japan's not doing all that well either, so we'll see. The price will continue to rise once the miners get rolling. Once they process the bars, then gold price dips. It goes up before they mine it. Okay. $1:15 a.m. I will be snoring at 1:15 a.m. loudly. Rick Ritchie, I'm sorry if I keep you up. You'll hear it from where you are. You'll be like, damn, Eddie, shut up, man. I'm trying to listen to this news, bro. I'm just saying, we need to start paying attention to, that's a massive deal. That's a massive deal. A prime broker for $1.25 billion. Kraken is spending $1.5 billion on a stock trading platform because it's money. Buy, sell, you go broke, you make money. The platform always makes money. The house always makes money. The house always makes money. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh man, things are starting to blow the hell up. Got to pay attention, folks. Got to pay attention. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I'm going to end the poll. The answer is obviously Ripple. We've got a lot going on. Keep your nose in the news this week. There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. There'll be a lot of more than enough chances for you to screw up. But I feel that if you keep your nose in the news and really do your research, you can find some real opportunities. Again, the volatility can do a lot of things. And we seem to be bouncing, even with these down plays, we seem to be, these downsides, we seem to be sticking to a certain range, in case you haven't noticed. You can make money off the volatility. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits. Absolutely invest deliberately. The GMB3, Hom's house. Everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, and absolutely, if you can, become a member. growmybag.tv/sign-up. Even better, go to Amazon and look up my books. You have Crypto Foundations and the GMB3, both on sale now. Hardcover, paperback. And the GMB3 also has a digital version. That's right. Everybody, have a great night. And thank you, as always. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. I appreciate you all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.